A good night's rest is everything for me, and it starts with how my bed feels. Nice, soft, and cozy. How your sheets feel against your skin and what they're made of are everything. And that's what I love about Brooklinen. If you're looking for that buttery, soft experience, their best-selling Luxe Sateen sheets are for you, including those of us who might wake up a little warm in the middle of the night. These sheets make me feel like I'm sleeping at a 5-star hotel. And I also love the fact that Brooklinen just launched an organic collection, if that speaks to you. You can check out Brooklinen's site to see all of the different styles of sheets and what suits you best. What are you waiting for? Shop in-store or online at brooklinen.com to gift yourself or your loved ones the rest they deserve. Visit brooklinen.com today and get $20 off plus free shipping on orders of 100 plus with code OVER50. That's brooklinen.com, code OVER50 for $20 off plus free shipping. Hey, welcome to this week's version of Over 50 and Flourishing. I'm Dominique Sachse, and it is...
I'm going to stop her right there. It is the birthday episode. I'm Courtney. I am Dominique's director of marketing and social media producer.
And podcast producer.
Yeah,
and you've hijacked my show.
So we're going to flip the script a little bit this week and sit down with Dominique, ask her some never-before-asked questions, her opinions on birthdays and growing older. And I think we're all going to find out something that maybe you've never knew before. All right, let's get into it. Dominique.
Yeah, we're flipping the script on things.
We are flipping the script. Thank you so much for joining us on your own podcast.
Look at you, quite the host.
You know, I'm trying. Just want to make everyone feel cool and calm and comfortable.
Nice.
Firstly, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It is the birthday episode. If you're listening to this the day that it came out, Dominique's birthday was yesterday, June 11th.
That's right.
And
fell on a Sunday this year. I totally lucked out.
Yeah, that's a good birthday.
I know.
That means it's going to be a good year.
It's good. Yes.
You know?
I like that.
I think so. Do you mind telling us how old you turned?
No, I'm 56 years old. I always talk about my age.
Yes,
so
you do.
I'm very happy to put it out there.
Yes, which I think everyone loves and appreciates about you.
Thank you.
So how does 56 feel?
No different than 55.
Really?
No different than 54. I don't know. I've never been one of those who's been hung up on a number, and I know some people struggle with those monumental birthdays, those decade birthdays, right? Where I think sometimes people have in their mind of where they should be, what they should be doing, you know, how far along they should be in life, but that's kind of a standard based on others. Yeah. And I've never really compared or sized myself up to that or had a set standard of what needed to happen by when. So maybe that's why I've always felt comfortable about the ages that I've been in and the decades, and as the years pass, I just feel like if I'm doing what God put in my heart to do, and I'm enjoying life, and I'm growing, and I'm caring for myself, then a number is just a number is just a number. Yeah. You know, I look at my mother who's 87, and she's like, I don't feel a day over 60. Yeah. And that's how I want to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Was there a decade ever that you felt a little uneasy about, like going into your 30s or going into your 40s and your 50s? Was there any, or were you always excited for the next
I was always
chapter?
excited. I would say the only decade where I felt some pressure was having a child, because I was late to the game. I had Styles at 38, and I had to go through IVF for a variety of reasons. You know, it's not just you, but also your spouse. I mean, there are reasons why you have to do that. And I could feel the clock ticking. Yeah. I could feel that pressure of, you know, your eggs are running out. Yeah, it's your body's changing. It's time. Mm-hmm. And I knew I wanted to be a mom, but at the same time, I also wanted to have the appropriate amount of time as just a husband and a wife and not rush into that so quickly. Yeah. but knowing that the longer we waited, the harder it might be. And so we did have to go through IVF, and it was brutal. Yeah. I would say that was the only decade where every decade has its struggles and every decade has its upside. The 20s, you're like getting your footing. You're figuring out who you are, what you want to do, where your passion is, what your trajectory is. And you're like on the launch pad and you're pushing all the buttons to make sure the rocket can launch. Yeah. That's sort of what I felt like the 20s were like. Yeah. The 30s
taking notes.
Okay. So you're on the launch pad right now. The 30s to me felt like, it's the countdown and it's the beginning of the boosters firing and you're lifting off, right? Yeah. You're setting a course, you're in motion. Generally by 30s, a lot of people are married, starting families. So working, all of that is in play.
You found yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, you found yourself more. I think 40s are, it's interesting you say that. I would say you're finding your lifestyle more in your 30s. Your 40s are more about finding yourself more. That's what I noticed was the big difference in my 40s. It was like, whoa, wait a second, I'm doing so much. I'm juggling so much, this crazy alleged balance, and it's never a daily balance. I've always said it's a weekly or a monthly, but this balance between work and family and children and, parents and everything that comes with that, it's exhausting. Ask any parent of a young child, they are whipped. It's so much hard. Nobody ever speaks about how hard that time is. Yeah. It's like rainbows and unicorns. That's all everybody talks about. And then the poor mom gets into the equation and she has her baby and she's like, why do I feel so exhausted? Why do I feel like I'm in, and it's true, you're in a house robe till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't had a bath and I haven't taken care of myself. I wish those conversations were had early on. I wish I knew.
Yeah, and I do think that is a really great aspect of social media and things that you're doing, how you're talking about menopause. Like, imagine if you had this platform back then to talk about your struggles. And I think a lot of new moms are not just sharing all the highlight reels now. They are sharing kind of their different struggles, and what they're going through in reality for sure.
Yeah. Thank goodness for that. Yeah. I'm so glad those conversations are being had. They weren't. Yeah. I did find that once I started to open up and become a little more transparent with friends, then suddenly everybody else felt like, oh, well, me too. Yeah. I'm going through that too. Yeah. My son had colic for a year, so that was absolutely brutal on top of it. And then I found out other moms, and we started sharing stories and sharing ways to try to, deal with it. I would, swaddle him, get in the car, and his dad and I would drive the 610 loop, at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. It was craziness. But just the power of sharing. So I think, as we talk about decades, 40s really about figuring out you and taking care of you. And I think 50s is really an interesting mix because that continues. But you're also in this very interesting space of children are now growing and getting out of the house. Relationships are getting examined. A lot of times they are not what you thought they were because you now have the time to really take a look and analyze what's going on in the relationship. And can it be salvaged? Can it be worked on? Or have you drifted too far apart where it's beyond reproach? I think it's a lot of analysis. And then another thing too is, caring for aging parents. Yeah. I had this sort of vision of what this time would be like. And I really thought that it would be smooth sailing. I would have, and my partner and I would have set aside plenty of money for the future and everything would be copacetic and I could cut back on work and I'd be doing, more traveling and it would be more of a leisurely time of my life. Yeah. And I find that I am working harder and I'm having to set up in a way now that really should have happened a while ago. So it just goes to show that, a lot of important questions need to be asked and discussed. And really a lot of things, we're never taught life in school. Yeah. Okay. And our parents, sometimes they forget to teach us life. Yeah. Life insurance, health insurance, 401ks, planning, how much you should be saving, all of this kind of stuff, doing life. And things, if you make changes in your life or changes happen to you and you're forced to go through something, it can really cut into what you had planned for yourself. Yeah. And it's a total reinvention. So I find there's a lot of that going on at this time.
Yeah. And so how do you kind of deal with, you said what you pictured for yourself at 50 is, or 56, or the stage of your life is not what it panned out to be. And I think a lot of people would be super scared of that and nervous for what the future holds. And I feel like you are the exact opposite. And you're just, one day at a time and just really, kind of reinventing yourself at this stage. You've always been into beauty and fashion, but almost to take on a different career and retire from your career of 30 years. How did you deal with the plan not going according to plan?
The plan not going according to plan. Wow. And it all happening at once.
Yeah. And like so much at once. Not only
so much.
The divorce and then retiring the book. And now we're podcasting.
A lot.
So much over the last few years.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that it's probably kept me sane and healthy having so much going on because, you can easily get lost in your head. And I think that happens a lot. And you get caught up in a playback that goes on in your head. And this happens a lot to women. I should be here. I should have done this, or why not this? And should'ves, could'ves, and would'ves need to get tossed to the curb because anytime you put those words in any sentence about you, it's all about failure and negative. So you have to erase that and say, all right, I am where I am. Things happen for a reason. I do believe God has a plan in all of it. Everything is a setup. So I say to myself, okay, this is a crazy time, but apparently there are some things that I needed to learn. There were things that I had accepted or maybe entrusted in others that I should have been managing and taking care of on my own, right? Having, and it's sad to say that in a way. I mean, you would like to think that you could divvy up responsibilities and it's like, you take care of this, you take care of that, and we each trust and we work on our own things. But I don't believe in blind trust. I believe that you have to have conversations and awareness of everything that's going on in a unit. Because if you don't, you can get caught by surprise. So, that whole part, I've learned a lot. It has made me aware of things that I should have been aware of. Do I beat myself up over that? No. Am I grateful that now at 56, I'm learning about things and I'm doing things very differently now, living very differently now than I did before? I'm grateful for it because what if another 10 years had gone by, right?
Yeah.
So there's always the way that you look at it.
Yeah.
Leaving a news career of 30 years, it was wonderful, but toward the end, it just didn't speak to my soul anymore. It wasn't a part of who I am. YouTube, connecting with women in this way. The podcast had been something I've been wanting to do forever. And it finally clicked and materialized. And now it lets me be the journalist, but talking about things that matter to women, in our prime. And there are so many wonderful guests and things that, Courtney's my producer. She's my director of marketing and social media. So she's like she's joined at my hip. And we're constantly brainstorming about what we can bring to you and what matters to you. And that is so exciting for me.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think it's very interesting, even for me, my experience of you, I feel like Dominique, we met each other like 3 years ago almost at this point. And I met you when everything was like switching,
I know.
And so I guess for me, I've only seen this side of you. I've only known this version of you. So what do you think what would you describe yourself, the biggest difference between how you were, for 30 years of career and mom mode and wife mode and all of that to kind of the last few years?
Oh my gosh, a 180. Yeah. Honestly, a 180 in a lot of areas. I feel like I found my voice, which doesn't that sound weird for someone who's been a journalist of 30 years?
Yeah, your voice was your job.
My voice was my job, but it was somebody else's word.
Yeah.
I found my voice with my word.
Yeah.
And I unapologetically started to express it. And it's the authenticity that I talk about that is so important about living your best life is you have to speak what is going on inside your head and your heart. You've got to be truthful. Yeah. You have to let it out. And I just got tired of burying things in the name of peace and not being real to myself. And it's, you boil water and you have a lid on it and it starts percolating and that lid is popping, and you keep it on there, and before you know it, that water is spilling over. And that's what happens when you don't speak up. And when you're not truthful and you're not living your authentic life, you're not setting boundaries, you're not taking care of you. And that has been honestly the greatest shift in my life, as I feel like for the first time, I'm being true to who I am. I'm doing work that is true to me. It's creative. It's fun. I mean, I was editing a video the other night till 10:30 in the morning. You helped me, but I enjoy that creative process too. And all of this. And so I feel like I'm kind of living the dream in a crazy way, in the most tumultuous way, in the most unpredictable way, because I went from stability and security to complete instability and, not knowing what the business is going to do or how I'm going to do. And I've got a kid to get through college and, rent to pay for and a mom to care for. And it's a lot, but I don't think about those things. I just think about, I'm here for a reason. I'm going to be the best that I absolutely can be, do the best that I can be, and focus on all the good that there is.
Yeah, which, again, it takes a very strong mindset for that, because I think, and we've talked about this before, just kind of the way that you look at things. And I think, from the outside looking in, someone in your situation, everyone probably thinks things are perfect, but
there's no such thing.
No such thing at all. And so speaking of kind of before and now in this new phase of life, what something do you think that you maybe, or the one thing that you used to value that maybe you don't value so much anymore, or what do you value differently now?
Things. I don't value things as much as I used to. And I would say that happened just by moving out of a house and getting into an apartment and having to minimize. And, we convince ourselves sometimes that we're so attached to the stuff that we have. But when you really boil it down, what matters? What really matters are relationships, human connection, our connection to God, our purpose in life, and how we pursue that. And things are the reward, the fruit sometimes of that. But I have learned to sort of switch my paradigm and not place the reward so much on material things, but the reward is the feel good that comes from doing what it is that you are destined to do. So I was very much that, retail therapy type mindset where I would do that and it would make me feel better. And now I don't do that to feel better anymore. I eat better, I sleep better, I exercise more. I have friendships, relationships, things that really fill me in a meaningful and powerful way, to where I don't need stuff. And I find, this is my second apartment now. I went from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom. So it's like smaller. So I still keep minimizing. And, Styles is going off to college and
Max is a 1-bedroom.
1-bedroom. I mean, who knows? Could be the podcast set. He's like, no way, Mom, you're not doing that. Don't worry, Styles. You'll always have a place to come home to. Always, always. But yeah, less is more. And I still look at my closet. I still look at my clothes. I'm like, you still don't need half of this stuff. And you got rid of cartons, in resale and Blogger closet sale. And I can get rid of more. So that's where my headspace is now.
Yeah, which I love. All right. Well, I'm not a professional at this, but I think we should take a break.
Hit a commercial break. Yes.
All right. We'll be right back with Over 50 and Flourishing with Dominique Sachse on her own podcast.
A good night's rest is everything for me, and it starts with how my bed feels. Nice, soft, and cozy. How your sheets feel against your skin and what they're made of are everything. And that's what I love about Brooklinen. If you're looking for that buttery, soft experience, their best-selling Luxe Sateen sheets are for you, including those of us who might wake up a little warm in the middle of the night. These sheets make me feel like I'm sleeping at a 5-star hotel. And I also love the fact that Brooklinen just launched an organic collection, if that speaks to you. You can check out Brooklinen's site to see all of the different styles of sheets and what suits you best. What are you waiting for? Shop in-store or online at brooklinen.com to gift yourself or your loved ones the rest they deserve. Visit brooklinen.com today and get $20 off plus free shipping on orders of 100 plus with code OVER50. That's brooklinen.com, code OVER50 for $20 off plus free shipping.
Welcome back to Over 50 and Flourishing.
Ooh, it's the birthday episode.
The birthday episode. If you are listening and not watching, you have quite the getup.
Thanks to you in the dollar store. But there's one candle that's missing.
There's, a flame that's out. You know, you blew out half the
I flamed
candle.
out, girl.
Quite the opposite, I think. Yeah. One thing I will say that I so much love about you, amongst a million things, is that I feel like you're always down for, I have crazy ideas for social media or YouTube video or whatever that looks like. Yep. And you're always like, okay.
Let's do it.
Called her before coming over here and was like, if I brought some decorations for the birthday episode, would you wear them? And you're like, yeah, of course. You said, drape me in streamers.
No, it's great. You brought quite the assortment over there.
I tried. But do you think you've always kind of had that just go with the flow mentality?
Oh, how many hairstyle changes have you seen in me?
Touche.
And what does that say?
Touche.
Yes. Sometimes I go with the flow to my detriment. You know, I sometimes can do it too much to the point where it's like, okay, maybe you should have thought about that a little bit. Maybe that impulse wasn't so good. That's such a Gemini thing.
Don't overthink your headband.
I know, I won't. I love this. I'm not taking it off, even though I flamed out. And Oscar wants to join us for the podcast too.
Hi, cutie.
Yes.
Okay, so 56.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about the last year of life. So.
The one that aged me the most.
You think so?
Well, I would say stress-wise, yes.
Really?
Definitely. Stress-wise, yes. I found myself getting sick more in this past year than I had really in a long time. Yeah. And that's what stress will do to you. I mean, it weakens your immune system and you're just susceptible to different things. So I feel like, but at the same time, I've been trying to combat that with being really mindful about my health and my wellness. My, I talk about my yoga practice all the time. It's my saving grace, and doing the vinyasa flow is so good for me in just so many ways. And then this detox program, and I think the video will be out before this podcast airs. Yes. So everybody will see this immune and gut detox program that I've been doing that was on the heels of the women's wellness retreat that I did in Austin. And I have to tell you, I did it because I was recently sick, and as you know, I posted some videos about books that I was reading while I was not feeling well. And it just wouldn't resolve. So, and I normally try to do natural home remedies. I'm very homeopathic. I really try to stay away from doctors as best as I can, unless they're wellness practitioners. It's just how I am. Yeah. But nothing was breaking, nothing was happening. So I got put on prednisone for inflammation, then a Z-Pak, and then 10 days later, nothing. And then I was given an antibiotic shot. And I'm like, my system has just been bombarded.
Yeah, you were really sick.
I was really sick.
Really sick.
And I thought, and I know about gut health, and I know what antibiotics do to the gut. And it can take a while for that to remedy. And I thought, I'm going to try to hit the gas on this and do this detox program. I have to tell you, and just to quickly sum it up, it's no sugar, no dairy, no soy, no gluten, no coffee, no alcohol, no corn. So no fun for a lot of people.
All my favorite things.
All your favorite things. I know. It's for a lot of people, it's a huge adjustment. Yeah. I already had eliminated a lot of those, but incorporates also these pea protein packets that are full of nutrients, and then amino acids and liver enzymes that you take with the smoothie that I'm still trying to get down here. But anyway, it's been great. So, and I feel this level of energy that's consistent that I have never felt before. Because you know me, I love my coffee in the morning. I'll have like 2 cups of coffee and I'm buzzing. And then by afternoon, I start to crash, and then I kind of pick up. Then I'll, maybe have a glass of wine, once, twice a week for dinner. And then I start to crash. And so I felt like peaks, valleys all the time. Ever since I've cut all that stuff out and I've been on this, I'm like steady Eddie. Wow. I sleep great. I wake up. I have energy. I don't yawn. It's like life-changing.
That's a great way to go into 56.
I think so. Yes. That's my plan.
Yeah. So do you think you're going to keep this up as like a regular lifestyle?
Definitely. Yeah. The detox is normally a 4-week detox. We all, as a group, decided to do 2 because so many in the group were traveling. Like you're going to Italy for 2 weeks. So we've been working feverishly to get a lot of content done and in to prepare for your trip while you're gone. And a lot of people are in that boat. So they thought, well, I can't detox if I'm going to Italy. You know, how do I stay away from pasta? You crazy? Or wine? No, ma'am. No way. But I'm not going anywhere. And well, okay, that just changed. I am. But I am going to continue it, and I'm going to try to do the 4 weeks because it's designed to be a 4-week program. And I'm feeling so great. I figure, why not just keep going?
Yeah.
And it's not, let me just be clear. It is not a weight loss program. Yeah. It is not, I'm not trying to lose weight. In fact, I'm eating more and I'm consuming more than I did before. Yeah. A lot of people do lose weight who are heavy consumers of sugar and alcohol and gluten and all of that.
Yeah, it'll just inevitably come off.
It'll inevitably come off. For me, I already ate kind of clean, so I'm like steady Eddie. You know, I had somebody post on social media that I was too thin and I bet I should get off of Ozempic.
That's funny because I want to get on Ozempic.
Like, are you really? Okay, that's a big assumption, first of all.
Huge assumption, yeah. No,
Huge.
That's terrible.
So, no, it is, yeah. So that stuff gets thrown my way, but I am not, I'm not trying to lose weight. I just, health and wellness is my goal. Always has been, always will be. That's it. It's not a size. It's not a number on a scale.
Yeah, and just kind of PSA, just don't comment on other people's bodies.
Thank you,
what a concept.
By the way. What a concept. Yeah, I know. That really gets me.
Yeah, and I think, though, a lot of people think because, you know, you post so much on social media that they know you, right? Yeah, and they almost feel like they can say things like that because you share so much, and so they're like, we're gonna share right back.
Yeah, but there's a chapter in my book called "Keeping It Classy," and it's there for a reason. Yeah, you know, and if you don't have something nice to say,
I agree. I think sometimes though, those kind of more common sense rules sometimes go out the door when you're behind a screen and you have your typing fingers on, and people that think people will comment things that they would never say to you or your face. And so how do you deal with comments like that? Does it bother you? Does it get under your skin? Did it used to be harder? Now you've been online for so long, it doesn't bother. Like, how do you?
I mean, I'm lucky in a way that my whole working career has been in the public eye, starting in radio first and then television. So, you know, before there was social media, there was email. So people would just email in and tell you what they thought, you know. So I started to get it that way. Oof. And you just quickly develop thick skin. You have to. My favorite expression is other people's opinions of you are not your business. Yeah. And it's true. It's not, what you think of me is not my business. What I think of me, what my Heavenly Father thinks of me, that's my business. Mm-hmm. But other people's opinions, no, because everybody's got one. Yeah. And these days, everybody's willing to share one. Yeah. So I don't let it penetrate. Sure, it's frustrating. In more of a humanity sense, not so much attacking me.
Yeah, like personally, just.
It's like, can't we just be kinder to one another? Can't we offer grace and compassion and words of uplifting and especially, and the worst, women on women. And it's terrible. And everybody's out there like, you know, women strong and let's support each other. But women are the first to cut other women down. Yeah. And I'm just calling people out on that. I'm like, hey, you know, if that's your mantra, if you believe in girl power and supporting women, then be supportive 24/7. Be supportive. Mm-hmm. And if you're having a bad day, don't lash out at somebody else.
100%. It's almost like taking it back to like playground rules. Like if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
Don't say anything at all.
And those rules, I think, just sometimes go out the window.
They do.
Online.
It's sad. It's sad. I just, you know, I want society as a whole to just be kinder and more compassionate.
Yeah. And so going back, you said that this year has maybe been one of your most stressful years. Yeah. Do you care to go into more detail about what was stressful? What was happening?
I mean, it was like everything at once. Yeah. You know, everything happened at once. And I felt like I was trying to resolve one thing and then the next thing happened. And so it's like running on the hamster wheel and sometimes you feel your feet going out from under you. Yeah. I had that sensation a lot this past year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Going through a divorce is brutal. Yeah. Period. I mean, very, very few and, you know, quickly and amicably. It's just hard. Yeah. And sometimes you learn things and you see things that are just hard. So that's been tough. And it took far longer than I ever thought it would. And so the stress that comes with that is just now getting dragged out. Yeah. And you're trying to put on a smile, put on a happy face, put out your positive message while you are going through a lot of turmoil. Yeah. And I think, the smartest decision that we made, because we've been working together for a long time, was to put a break on the happy face and say, you know what? Sometimes life stinks. Yeah. Sometimes you're going to go through some really bad spots and you're not alone. And I think putting myself out there and just saying, you're not alone. I'm having a tough time. I'm going through a lot. I'm going through a lot of changes, some planned, some unplanned, some unfolding in a way I had anticipated, some not, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, feeling tired. It was wise to open up and to show that authenticity and to be real, because I think people assume, and they don't assume, because I feel I was guilty of projecting this, everything's glorious life. When in fact everything wasn't glorious. But you don't want to put that out there.
Yeah, not for the whole world to see. That's scary.
It is scary, and you want to have some sense of privacy and anonymity in a social forum, and it's a public forum. It's very difficult to do. Very, very difficult line to try to walk.
Yeah, especially when you've put out all the happy stuff. So it's like
what's going on?
It just pauses at the not so happy stuff.
You can't. Yeah. That's the thing. You can't. And so it was a very wise conversation that we had, and it was a wise decision to just be real and to open that up. And there's good and bad with that. The good is that there were women who were going through the same thing, who thought, I'm not alone. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for telling what's happening in your life. What a brave thing you did. I don't feel so bad. I'm here as a viewer. They're like, I'm here to support you. So the role was reversed, and I was receiving from them in a very different way that was so special and endearing. Yeah. And I love that. So that was the upside. The downside, of course, are, the keyboard warriors who cast judgment on your life. And, I thought you had a perfect marriage, and this. And then they start assuming things and spreading rumors and blah, 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 blah. But again, other people's opinions of me are not my business. Yeah. And that's when I just had to back away from all that, delete. If there's a pattern of a certain person being ugly, block. Yeah. We all have that power in our lives. And I think it's really, really important. And this applies to anybody who follows you on social media. This also applies to family. Anybody who crosses a line and feels like they've got a say in your life when you didn't open the door and invite them to have that say, you have the power to erase, delete, and block. And you can do it in a very kind and respectful way. But boundaries, people need boundaries. Yeah. And you have to define what those are.
Yeah, and set them and stick with them.
Because then you get walked over.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think it is funny, or not funny, ironic that, before you were saying with motherhood, when you first entered motherhood, I wish there was someone around talking to me and telling me I'm not alone. And then you start talking to people in your inner circle, and now it's almost like full circle that now it comes around this different chapter of your life, and you're facing all these other struggles, and now you have become that person for women, that you are the one talking about it, and that life's not great, and that I have to go through a divorce, or I'm going through menopause, or you know what I mean. And so I think maybe you manifested that for yourself, that you know what I mean, of like when you're becoming a mom, you're like, I wish I had this, and now you are that for so many people.
Yeah, and it feels good to be that. And that's what I love about this podcast is if I don't have the answer, we're going to bring on people who do.
100%.
And I get to ask the questions, and I get to learn as well, because there are so many things that I still don't know fully, and I'm not completely aware of and need to be. I will honestly say that, so many people don't even know what the divorce process is like and what's even asked of you. Even just information about that, or, just talking to therapists about can a marriage be salvaged, and what does it take for that to happen? Yeah. Those types of questions. Finances. I cannot honestly stress enough about the financial setup for the future. How there are so many things, there are so many boxes that have to be checked for that to happen successfully. And sometimes you check all those boxes, but the economy can ruin things for you. You can get fired, laid off. So there are so many curveballs that can come your way, but still you need to plan, you need to prepare, you need to have knowledge about things and not just assume it's going to be there or assume it's been taken care of because chances are it hasn't and it's not.
Yeah, 100%. And so to kind of maybe on a little bit of a happier note.
Yes.
We've talked about, kind of what's gone on the last year and what stresses you've kind of been dealing with, but what do you think has been maybe the best thing that's happened over the last year or the top 3 or what do you think? What's been going on?
I would definitely say just new relationships and connections that I've made have been amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And also the prioritization of those. I didn't in the past, and that was an area of growth and learning for me. Yeah. And I'm you know what? I'm busier now than I was then, but I am making time for relationships in my life. And that's awesome. Yeah. That's the best thing, honestly, that's happened to me in this past year. Yeah. What else? I mean, seeing, my son grow, parenting, and, a man who just turned 18, ups and downs and, all that comes with that, figuring out college. That's been wonderful, this kind of phase where we are now. And I see so many amazing changes in him. He's finishing up school. He's got a job. He's going to business school. I mean, I'm so excited for him. And I'm seeing such turnaround just in terms of him seeing himself as a man now and making those decisions. So that has been awesome. Yeah. What else? I mean, I just honestly just enjoying me for a change. Really. Yeah. Just enjoying who I am and who I'm becoming and learning. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah, love podcasts. Glad to have one too. I love growth. I've always loved growth, and I feel like this has been such a growing year for me. Yeah. And I would say those 3 things have been really my highlights. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think what's so interesting about you and what you do is that I feel like even if you go back and look on your content the last year, you can almost see that resonating in your content, and it's like you almost have like the best like home movies of like the last year. You know what I mean? To kind of like just see what you've been through and what the content you've put out and the information that you've put out there personally and professionally, and I think that all resonates within the last year. That's a good way to put it. I mean, in a way, these videos are like a journal. Yeah. I mean, you see when people journal, you go back to the beginning and you see where you started and you see where you are and you're like, wow, I've really come a long way. I can even see and sense the difference in my tone, the way I wrote, what I wrote about. Look at what I'm writing about now. I guess for me that happens in video form. Yeah. Aside from the hair changes into that. Yeah, there's a bunch of other things. But even just like you said, even the way that you're talking in videos or the way that you're looking in videos, or you know what I mean? I think, and sometimes people they'll comment and be like, it seems like something else is going on. And sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. Right. But obviously and so I think that's a really cool thing that you can kind of go back and look at the last year and everything that you've done is documented. It's true. I think it's pretty cool. I think when I started YouTube, I felt like, and I see this when I see old videos of me, I feel like I'm a news anchor who's presenting beauty. I still see the news anchor in me, that kind of staccato, hardcore delivery. Now? Today? Not today, then. Okay, yes, then. Yeah. I felt like I was still in the anchor chair talking about something different. Now I feel like I'm me. Yeah. Talking. I feel like I've softened. Yeah, I completely agree. I think you've kind of let your personality shine a little bit more. Yeah. And obviously I didn't know you back then, but I've looked back at videos, and even when I first got the job, was doing my research and all that good stuff. And yeah, I agree. I think it's a completely just shift from the videos that you put out then, like you said, total news anchor mode. Yeah. And now you're laughing and just more of your personality is coming. I'm a goofball. Yeah, more relaxed. 100%. So yeah, no, I think that's amazing that you've kind of been able to let your guard down a little bit. It feels great. Yeah. Feels real. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. All right. Well, is it break time again? I think we should go to a break.
the professional here, not me, but we will cut to a break on this birthday episode. Dominique is sharing so much about the last year in her life and everything in general, and we will be right back with Over 50 and Flourishing with Dominique Sachse and Courtney Young.
You go, Courtney Young. I love the fact that I'm in loungewear on my birthday podcast today.
I kind of love it. I think that just goes back to letting your guard down, honestly.
Totally.
Like, do you think that you would have been even in loungewear, wearing a birthday crown, beads, and like when you first started your YouTube channel, did you think that you would be...
That I'd come this far? Wow. I know.
Oh, you walked right into that one.
I really did, didn't I? No, I never would have predicted this ever in a million years.
But
actually, this is such an upgrade from the little nightgown slip that I had on all day today until you showed up at 3:00.
Yes.
So yes, this is a major upgrade.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so we are talking all about birthdays because it was your birthday yesterday.
Yeah. 56.
So again, yes, happy birthday. Okay, so I want your thoughts. I feel like everyone has different opinions on birthdays and celebrations, and do you reach an age where you don't celebrate anymore? And what do the celebrations look like? I want your full opinion.
You're going to be shocked. I don't have an opinion on how anybody should do themselves, right?
Correct.
But I think my opinion about me is going to totally shock you because everybody thinks that I'm this total extrovert. But I'm an ambivert, which is an introvert with extrovert tendencies, right? So I have my moments where I'm like out there and lots of personality. And I think a lot of people on television are like that. They can turn it on.
Yep.
But in personal life, they really need to dial it back. So I have never, ever been one of those people ever who's thrown a birthday party for herself. I know.
I'm
shocked.
I am shocked. I didn't know that.
I knew you would be. For me, feel weird about it.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I love going to my friends' birthday parties. Yeah. You know, Holly had one and she had a whole room full of women lining this long rectangular table. And it was fun and fabulous and great. And I love that for her and being there. But I would never do that I don't have a desire to do that for myself. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just my wiring, if it's just the whole only child thing. Just, you know, I don't know what it is.
Even in like teens, 20s, you never threw a birthday?
No, I've never thrown a party for myself ever. Now I've had
parties thrown for you.
I've had a party thrown for me, and it was nice, but after a while I wanted to go upstairs and just get out. I mean, isn't that awful?
It's not awful. I don't think it's awful. I think everyone
I
chooses.
I just have a lower threshold, I guess, for that.
And do you think it's
maybe it'll change?
I mean, do you think it's like you and your personality, or do you not want to? Are you not a fan of like birthdays, or don't think that
I love birthdays. I think birthdays are great. I love celebrating them in smaller scale ways. Yeah. I love celebrating other people's birthdays. Yeah. I love the fun of it. I love giving gifts. I love eating cake. Birthday cake is one of my favorite things ever, even though I can't have that now. Birthday cake, wedding cake, my favorite things. Yeah. I love birthdays. It's just I feel weird about throwing a party for myself. It's like I feel... Now, here's the weirder thing. I feel weird putting a spotlight on myself.
As there's 20 spotlights on her all the time.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I need some psychoanalysis.
No, but I do think it's a little different because, even like YouTube and podcasting, you're not really in front of like an audience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even podcasting, you're talking one-on-one with someone. And I feel like maybe even with the news too, I mean, most of the time you weren't in front of an audience, right? You were speaking straight to camera, and that's kind of your bread and butter. Thing. Yeah. And you can go, like you said, you can rub elbows and turn it on, but you just don't want the spotlight on you.
Yeah. It's just a weird thing. Now, maybe if I make it to 100, I'll throw myself the biggest party ever.
I'm already planning a 60th at this point. Don't tell me.
I'm like thinking 100. That's worth celebrating right there.
100%. All right. So never.
So never the trip to Vegas, never a crazy girls thing, never.
So do you have a most memorable birthday? Was there one that either someone, like when someone threw you the party, how was that? Tell me about that experience. Was that uncomfortable?
I mean, it was people that I knew and people that I'd been around.
Did you knew it was happening?
It was at the house, and I knew.
Was it a surprise?
Oh wait, no, there was a surprise party thrown for me once. There was.
Did you hate it?
No, it was sweet. It was sweet,
Okay.
but again, it just felt. I just feel weird. I don't know why. I just felt awkward.
How?
I don't know. Like I said, I maybe need to analyze myself about that. But yes, I have had a surprise party thrown for me once.
Okay.
I have thrown them for others, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
So clearly, I'm into the whole thing.
Yeah.
But as a receiver, it feels awkward to get the attention.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I
think
don't
that's
know what
just
that is.
Who you are. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I just think it's shocking knowing you.
Right.
And I feel probably everyone else that you are always on and love talking to people. And
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah, just not
It's
when
just not throwing a
your
party
own.
for myself.
It's fair.
Now, if you want to throw one for me, that's different. But
Say 60th? Come on.
Okay, bring
we have to do something so fun. And all of Houston's going to be
come on.
party. And so, of the 56 birthdays thus
Yes.
far, is there one that stands out to you? Like the actual birthday and celebrating?
I think this one is going to stand out to me because I have treated myself to a trip to Mexico for my birthday.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that fills me.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I want to celebrate my trip around the sun. I'm acknowledging that it's been a really hard year and tiring. And so what do I need? I need a little zen.
Yeah.
And I'm giving myself the gift of zen.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling this birthday is going to be really memorable.
Yeah. That is really good.
Yeah.
And so, what are you hoping for
In
this
the next year?
Do you have any goals or thoughts? Or
Yes, I do. I am hoping for a lot of peace.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have more calm, to have a little bit more time for myself. I've had to tackle a lot of issues and big things this year.
Yeah.
So I would like a little bit more me time that's still balanced with, all the work that we do.
Yeah.
Which doesn't leave a lot of me time, but it's still, I'm a big proponent of scheduling and crafting your life. And so you just have to design it. And I just want to be a better architect of my life next year, where all the things that matter to me are in it in as equal balance as I can possibly create.
Yeah.
I want a lot of laughter this next year, a lot of joy, a lot of experiences, a lot of silly moments, a lot of doing things that I haven't done in a while. Like I remember growing up, I would go to the Derry Ashford roller rink, and they play all the disco music. And I thought, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go roller skating. Yeah. I just want to do fun things that just hook into the young Dominique again.
Yeah, 100%. I think, again, even just reflecting on your content, I think people have seen that side of you coming out. And I think I'm going to speak for everyone here, that everyone's enjoying it a lot. And even, your favorite story of you running out of gas on the way home from the retreat, I just feel like that's something that so many people would have just been so annoyed about. And it's raining and I want to go home, and you chose to just laugh it off and
lost it.
Had the best time. And so I think people can definitely appreciate, seeing that positivity, but also seeing it from you.
Yeah, the lighter side of me.
Yeah,
yes,
100%.
I'm looking for Dominique Light.
Yeah.
Let's on that.
Okay, I have some just rapid fire fun questions.
You've been taking notes, haven't you?
Of course, learning from the best. Come on.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so what do you think is the most daring thing you've ever done?
The last year and a half?
Like we just talked about it?
You think? All of that looped together. Yes.
Favorite and least favorite foods. I think we said cake, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so wedding cake, for sure, and crawfish. They don't go together, but they are definitely favorite foods. Least favorite, pimento cheese, only because I had a really bad experience in third grade It was served at lunch and I didn't like it and I spit it out in my napkin, and the kid who was sitting across from me ratted on me and my teacher, and I was put in timeout for spitting out my sandwich in my napkin. I hate pimento cheese.
I scarred you for life.
Forever.
Would you say you relax and de-stress?
Meditation, prayer, and yoga.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you have any tattoos or piercings?
Okay, well, I can say I have a tattoo because my eyebrows have been tattooed.
I was about to be like,
what? What? No, I don't have the tramp stamp. No, I don't have any of that. Okay, but in my 30s, I did get the navel ring.
I love that.
No, I don't. The good thing is that you can't tell.
No.
It's kind of closed, but I think if I wanted to put one back in, I could, but I never will. But yeah, I don't know what possessed me. That was like, everybody was working out and wearing the hipster
like
workout pants and everything was low
Yeah.
rise, and everybody who had abs had a navel ring. And I thought, well, I want to get abs, so now I'm going to get a navel ring.
Got me in that club.
That was so stupid.
I love that. How long was it in? Why did you take it out? Now I have so many follow-up
I
questions.
know. I took it out because I got pregnant and I thought that was going to be hideous.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
that's good
so
reason.
I got it in my mid to late 30s, and it only lasted for maybe 2-3 years. Wow. You learn something new every day, don't you? Good question.
Let's see. If you could speak any other language fluently, what language
Mais
would
oui,
it be?
français.
Yes.
Je parle un très petit peu.
Sounds pretty fluent to me.
I love French. I studied it. I had in my car, my old car that had CDs. It was the Pimsleur approach, where you speak it repetitively over and over, and they walk you through, and it adds on, to the sentences. That's the only way to learn to speak a language, is to speak the language. Yeah. And I was actually getting pretty good because I was going to France, in the summertime, and I really wanted to be able to speak as much as I could while I was there. And I loved it, but just, have dropped the ball on it because the time, life. But yeah, I love French. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you have any phobias? And if so, what is it?
I don't think so. I love killing cockroaches.
It's the exact opposite of a phobia.
I know. Anytime there's a bug in a house, Styles is like, Mom. I'm like, where is it? Where is it?
I love that.
If it's a kind I like, I'll try to sweep it outside. If it's an ugly kind, I'm sorry, your life is short.
Yeah.
But phobia. Oh, okay. This is the weirdest phobia ever.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ever. So I told you crawfish is my favorite food. When I was young, when I was 6 and 7, we lived in Lafayette, Louisiana for 2 years. And I was exposed to amazing Cajun food, crab boils, crawfish boils, oysters, shrimp. I ate it all. That's kind of rare for a young kid, right? So we would have these crawfish boils at the house, my dad and my mom, and have people over, and you just would put newspaper over the bench and all the crawfish. Anyway, they come in these big sacks and they're alive, and then you dump them into the boiling water with the cayenne, the pepper, the potato, and the corn. Well, somebody at the party grabbed a crawfish and tossed it at me, and it landed at my feet. And Courtney, I've got something really weird with like pincers, whatever.
Noted. Won't do it.
Won't do it. So anytime there's a crawfish or a crab or a lobster that's live and somebody picks it up, I instinctively just back away because I think that it's going to hit my finger.
Oh my goodness.
Because it almost got my toe when I was 7 years old. And I'm freaked out by live crustaceans. Yeah, so crustaceans, not my thing.
Yes.
Unless they're boiled with hot, spicy pepper.
Which is fair.
Fair.
I don't think it's
Although,
everyone's favorite.
I have to share that God likes to play funny jokes on us because he knows that I don't like crustaceans. So I had this crazy trip when I was in my late 20s. I was dating somebody, we had no money. And we went to Costa Rica, and he took me to a place called Nosara, which I'm convinced is Spanish for nowhere, because it literally was in the middle of nowhere, or so it seemed. I mean, it's probably built up now. It's a big surfer town, big surfer.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're on one of those little prop planes. We land on a runway, one little strip in the middle of nowhere with chickens at the end, which really should have told me all I needed to know. We get on a dust-covered bus, get to the hotel, still under construction, pool not finished. One area, like a pit, where a woman was making fried fish, red beans, and rice, and that was the only thing you could eat because that was all she made. And then there was just sort of this strip of rooms on the cliff overlooking the water. So after 2 days of having all the red beans and rice and fish that I could handle, we start asking around, find out that if you walk the beach, see the palm tree, make a left at the palm tree, cut in, there's a pathway that takes you to another hotel that actually has a pool with some live music and a menu.
Hallelujah.
So like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
finally, he just escaped death. So that evening we walk, we cut in, sure enough, lovely night, good food, everything's great. I'm happy as a clam. Now we start walking back and it's dark. I mean, there are no lights. Literally, there are no lights anywhere. Ugh. So you have to have a flashlight. And I start to hear this clicking sound that sounds like my nails clicking. And it's getting louder and louder and louder.
And running.
Took that flashlight, looked down, black crabs with the orange claw.
Oh.
And not only were they there, they were like bales of hay on the side. They were all in it. Courtney, there were crabs everywhere. Everywhere. Black and orange was all I saw. It was like a Halloween nightmare. And they're flying across, and I'm wearing open-toe sandals. I need to make sure my little crown is straight. Anyway, open-toe sandals, crabs everywhere. I am freaking out, and he's just laughing, thinking this is the funniest thing everywhere. So I'm doing like kind of what Martin Short was doing, his little dance, and I'm tiptoeing, and I'm trying to get through this whole crab phase, get to the beach. Yeah, guess what? There's another species of crab that lives on the beach. This is a white crab that runs sideways and then dives into its little hole that it's made for itself.
This is a scary story.
This is horrific. So now it's like adding insult to injury. I'm screaming. I jump on his back. He's laughing hysterically. I'm cussing. I'm like, I hate you. Why did you take me here? This is the worst trip ever. Don't you know I'm afraid of crabs? So anyway, finally we have to climb these big tall steps to get up to where the hotel is. We get there to our room. And there's a bullfrog that's literally 1.5 feet tall sitting at the front door of the room. And I just thought, end scene, done.
Pack my bags.
I'm
out.
Out of here. So yeah, that's, what next? Thankfully, I've been spared any other crustacean horrors, but yeah, that was pretty horrific.
Just like to eat them, not play with them.
Exactly.
Fair.
No, don't get me near one.
Most people are afraid of spiders, the roaches, and you're good with all of it.
No, your normal household bug, I'm good with. Just the crab and the crawfish and lobsters. Just anything that's going to pinch me.
All right. Luckily, I hope they're not in your house.
In a tank.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. What would you say is your favorite quote?
Oh, it's the Audrey Hepburn quote about her definition of beauty. Let's pull it up because I don't have it memorized, but...
Yes, I think I have it pulled up here.
Yes.
For beautiful eyes, look for the good in others.
Yes.
For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone.
Yeah, I love that. There was a reason, and she's hanging on my bathroom wall.
Yeah.
And there is a reason why she was behind all of my earlier YouTube videos, because she, to me, is the example of what a pure, elegant, beautiful, tasteful, classy woman is.
Yeah.
In not only presentation, but also point of view and words spoken. She epitomized all of it for me. And so I wanted her to sort of be the standard, right?
And I think people probably put you in that category as well.
That's
I think, are
sweet.
People's
Well,
Audrey.
not after the navel ring story.
You're out.
I'm done.
You're off the wall. Oh, well.
We make our mistakes. I'm just honest about them.
Which I love. I never knew that about you.
No.
I was waiting for a piercing, a tattoo.
We
got it. We got it. We got the story.
Look at you.
Learning from the best. See?
Look at you, Barbara Walters.
Far from it, but I'm trying. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for sitting down on your own podcast.
This is such a flip of the script,
Yes,
but I've loved it.
Flip of the script. Hopefully everyone has learned something about you today or has gotten a good takeaway from this or just even a laugh.
Yeah.
And I will end it with a question that I get asked a lot about you is anytime people find out that I work for you or I'm at an event with you or anything like that, people always ask me, is that what she's really like? And I feel like they're waiting for me to be like,
you don't know.
You don't even know the half of it. Oh my God. And I couldn't be further from the truth. I tell everyone what you see is what you get. I feel you're upbeat and positive online. It's exactly how you are in real life, if not even better, to be honest.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you, and I love our professional and personal relationship.
Ditto.
And I am so thankful for you and for my job and truly just everything. I feel like, you give everyone so much wisdom, and I feel like I get like a tiny little personal sliver of that myself, which I'm so thankful for.
You're so sweet. You did ask me what are some of the things that I am grateful for. You are among them. Having you in this role in my life is really, really special for me. It's funny. I don't see you as an employee. I see you as kind of my compadre, or I guess in comadre. I'm not sure. There's a female version of that in Spanish, I'm sure. But yes, I see you as a partner, a work partner, and somebody who just instills all this creativity and comes up with ideas constantly, and we have fun, and it's joyful, and I feel so blessed to have that. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's a total collaboration. And it's so neat. And we dreamt about this years ago. And here's the thing, and I want to leave it with this. Speak into existence what it is that you want to manifest, because we did.
We did.
We had a talk a while back about what our kind of dream setup would be. Yeah. And I wasn't ready for it at the time. And you needed to move on and have some growth in another area.
Honestly, I don't even know if I was ready for it at the time.
Probably. And everything plays out as it should. But we spoke into existence what our dream scenario would be in working together. And here we are.
Here we are.
So if there's something that you're wanting for in life and hoping for, speak it out.
Yes.
Share it. Say it. Manifest it. Because this is, case in point of that coming to fruition.
And we've talked so much too about the timing of that. I think for both of us was like
impeccable.
Oh my gosh, just life-changing, honestly.
Yes.
So
I know. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you for the idea of the birthday podcast.
Yes, Dominique goes with all my crazy ideas. If you're ever if you're ever questioning anything, it's probably my idea.
She made me do it.
How would you feel if I showed up with some birthday decorations? And she said, drape me in streamers. And we did it.
And we did it.
So yes, I'm super thankful for you. I think everyone else is equally as thankful for you. I think you have a great platform, and I hope you have the best birthday because you deserve it. Well, and I'm planning the 60th. I'm not kidding. We're doing a birthday party for the 60th.
All right. I will let you take over. As long as I don't have to throw a party for myself, I'm good.
Okay, fair. I'll call Holly. Holly, if you're watching, get ready. We're planning.
As long as Oscar can come, we're good.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, my little baby boy.
He says happy birthday, Mom.
He's saying happy birthday, Mama. I love you. And I love you guys too. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Over 50 and Flourishing. We have so many great guests and things lined up for you. Yeah. Really important content, things that I think we all need to talk about and figure out. And I'm really excited with the lineup of guests that we have coming and just how all of that sort of unravels, right? You start to get some and more come and bigger and anyway, it's just, it's so neat to see the evolution of this.
No, it's really cool, and I'm super happy to be a part of it.
Me too. So thanks.
Right. Yes. So make sure to rate,
review,
and
subscribe,
and
share.
See, she's better at this than I am.
Rate, review, subscribe, and share. And if you're watching it on YouTube, please comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share me with people that you love, who you think could benefit from this kind of content.
Yes, and of all ages. I'll add that in there because
Thank you for doing that.
Over 50. Every time I'm here and we're podcasting, I'm taking notes and learning something new myself. So I would say share it with all of the women in your life, maybe even some of the men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And it's like what you were talking about, if you knew then what you know now, you would be able to do things so differently.
100%.
So if somebody in their 30s and 40s can listen to this and get something from it, well, then you're teeing yourself up for a better life in midlife.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.